Wow, it's almost been 3 hours. This is a pretty long demo. 9/9/1987. Yep, so it's September. Hello? I woke up well past noon. The house was far too silent. I skipped school again. Oh, to hell with it. That was now my life. Or I was dramatizing everything too much. Or was I, rather? I entered the kitchen and froze in a stupor. My head felt funny and my thoughts jumbled. I could sure use another 600 minutes of sleep or so right now. A glass of cold water brought me back to my senses, more or less. I looked in the mirror. Oddly enough, the black eye was gone. I checked all the doors. They were all securely locked still, same as yesterday. A note from Heather laid in the hallway. She was worried, yada yada yada. She visited after school, blah blah blah, nag nag nag. No need for that. Thank you very much. It was perhaps the first time in my 18 years of life that I was in a situation like this. The move to Japan in my early childhood, the difficulties with adoption, my parents' death, all these have been difficult, but I perceived them as fate and result of malice deeds. By the way, adaption. That makes more sense than adoption. It just was difficult. Something was threatening me directly, and someone was warning me, genuine or not. But of what possible interest could I be, and to whom? And then it dawned on me. I probably wasn't of interest to anyone by myself, but this could be more about my parents. After all, they immigrated from the USSR, and they worked for the Kobayashi Company. Definitely spoke Russian. It may have been distorted, but there was no accent. Oh, so he actually was speaking proper Russian. Okay. I didn't know what my parents worked on precisely, but it could very well have been something serious. A lump formed in my throat. It could have been something to kill for. And to my great frustration, I don't even know anything about the work. But who would believe me? I had to do something quickly. I took out my father's old notebook and started looking up for phone numbers of people he worked with. Some of them I've seen in person, others I've only heard about. In any case, anything was better than simply sitting and waiting. Ah, hello, my name is Nick, and the first dozen numbers gave me nothing. Some no longer lived under the same address, some places simply didn't answer, and one man had even died since then. I turned the page. A number was written there in father's even firm handwriting with two words underneath it. Ichi no san. That's Ichi nos san. Yeah, Ichi nos. I've heard that surname somewhere before. Long beeps. 1, 2. After the 10th, I was about to put down the receiver when a familiar elderly voice sounded on the other end. Hello. And then I remembered. The visited when I was younger. He was a polite, pleasant, kind-spirited old man. He would bring me candies and show interest in my schoolwork and hobbies. And then he and my father would sit in the garden for long periods, smoke a lot, and talk about something while looking important. Hello, my name is Nico, and Nick-kun. He interrupted me. It's been a long time. How are you? I'm fine, sir. I gave a stock answer. I could dump everything that had recently happened to me at once, could I? Pity about your parents. The voice on the receiver sounded. Attended my funeral. Thank you, sir. Actually, that's why I'm calling. Well, not literally, of course. I went silent for a second. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Could you please tell me about my father's work? I know he was an engineer, but what exactly did he work on? Did something happen? Why are you suddenly interested, son? And now, of all times. To tell you the truth, yes, something did happen, but it doesn't matter. Why not? You can't tell me? No, I can, of course. It's just, why should I even trust him in the first place? Just because he visited us a few times and acted friendly towards me? Will you tell me or not? Is there some kind of secret? It's not a secret per se, son, but it's not a simple matter either. I understand it's not simple. I'm not a child anymore, I muttered in response. So, what happened then? Some people came and asked about my father, about his work. I lied. They asked about his work. What exactly did they ask? I don't know. I mean, I didn't tell them anything because I don't know what to tell them myself. And how were they asking? What do you mean? Well, what was the tone? Now I was absolutely certain that he knew far more than he was letting on. Moreover, it seemed like Ichi was afraid of something. Do I have reason to worry? You know this better than I do, son. He replied coldly. If I knew anything, I wouldn't be calling you, right? Nick, listen. You shouldn't be dragging yourself into this. Why? Do you know something? Tell me. It concerns me as well. No, you of all people have nothing to do with it. And if you stay quiet, everything will be alright. But I said everything there is to say. Please, do not call me again, and don't ever talk to my son. Now there was beeping was short. Everything will be alright, my ass. On the other hand, I should thank him for indirectly confirming my suspicions. This was about my father. I gathered my thoughts and tried to remember everything he could. He told me about his job. Engineering. What do engineers do? They build, or rather they design. Oh God, what did a stupid teenager care about the details like that? What mattered was having a pocket money and everything be fine like in family. What? That was a sentence. But I was certain that my father didn't exactly work in construction. Defense forces, perhaps? Did father used to work for the military? But what did it matter to me? I knew absolutely nothing about his work anyways. If all of this wasn't a stupid hoax in the first place. Ellipses wondered about what the hell I was just reading and if I knew English. The hour hand on the clock was already approaching 3, and I still hadn't eaten breakfast. And Heather would be here soon. The note had been clear on that point. Enough. She's not my mother. In any case, what I need right now was some fresh air. Ninjas. Oh, you went to the bar. I decided to have lunch in my favorite bar. Favorite bar. Even despite the fact that something unpleasant happened to me here yesterday. The bell above the door made a pleasant ringing noise, but none of the few patrons inside paid me mind. Only the bartender gave me his usual smile and waved his hand. Sorry, just listening to that girl in the background. Oi, you sure been visiting here lately, boy. I see you not like, it's not like I'm glad now you're here, but, you know, after yesterday's beating you got there. Excuse me. I stepped to the counter not knowing what to say. My resentment towards him was already gone. After all, everyone has their own life and job. Will it be the usual now? No. I'm here for lunch. Got it, boy. What would you like, then? I don't know. Give me a beef steak, I guess. Everyone has that accent now. It'll be done. I sat down at a table and sank into my thoughts. Ellipses got shit-faced. The beefsteak turned out to be expectantly decent. This place served fine cuisine in addition to beer, and a lot of sake from the look of it. I was lazily picking my teeth with a toothpick when the bell over the door rang out, pleasantly seeing out the arrival of a new visitor. Hey, Michael was standing at the doorway. He was the last person I expected to see here. Though, why exactly? Exactly. He knows me and sat down at my table. The bartender was near us immediately, placing a menu in front of him. Friends of yours, Nico. He drew nastily in Russian French mannerism. Something like that. He's a classmate. I replied in Japanese. Now, what would you like, good sir? I just understand whether or not annoyed or amused his behavior. Just coffee, please. What was his? Oh, yeah. He was, dude, like, stoned. He just coffee, please. And the special coffee, if you could, like Amsterdam. Damn it, everyone having the same accents. This very minute. The bartender sang out and ran behind the counter. Are the classes over? Yes, and you didn't show up to them. Let's say I had... What's with the suspense music? I have a feeling he's the guy doing a lot of this to me, but whatever. Let's say I had things to take care of. I've known Michael for 2.5 years now. He was American, and his parents have been working in Japan for quite a few... So I should just talk normal. He has an American accent. We were never particularly close, but his seriousness and unusually mature attitude towards life inspired certain respect in me. You could call him a complete opposite of Kyosuke. You have no desire to explain anything, as I understand. Not really. Some guys from another class were bragging about giving someone a good beating. So what? I snarled, annoyed. It was hard to tell whether Mike was hinting at something or simply sharing a story from school. By simply looking at him. Did you hear anything about that? No. I see. He continued sipping his coffee, looking somewhere past me. I could be uncommunicative as well, but Michael, did he really feel comfortable right now? So, how was school? The usual. And how's Catherine? The question escaped my lips unbidden. I hadn't thought about her all today. Michael set his cup down on the table and stared at me intently. I don't know because I don't know her. Right. Back then, we were in different classes. He continued giving me this weird look. What? Did something happen between you two? You probably already heard about it from Kyosuke, but I'm asking you now. Well, yeah, something did happen, but that was long time ago. And now? Now there's nothing. I see. Are you asking because the two of you are from the same country? I'm just asking. Nothing. What? And why did she transfer to the school exactly? I don't know. Ask her. I was already fed up with the question, even though I mostly began asking it myself. Do you think there might be a reason for it? I did or I didn't. What difference does it make? You don't know her. When it comes to her, thinking is useless. Look, you have nothing to do with it. There are simply more important things to worry about. Do you know any ninjas, and are they trying to kill me? For the entire time, Ninja had... I just called him Ninja. Michael had been speaking in a voice so even and calm that it was starting to get on my nerve. If he really didn't care, then what was all these questions? And it wasn't a very pleasant topic in the first place. Sorry, I didn't know that you two are still, he coughed pointedly, that this is an unpleasant conversation for you. You could have guessed, you bastard. Well, you can imagine. I felt like throwing money down on a table and walking out. But I didn't have many friends as it was, and this kind of behavior was normal for Michael. Has anyone asked about me at school? I haven't heard anything of the sort. Well, alright, and how are you doing? Not bad, but there's barely any free time lately. I'm getting ready for matriculation? Yeah, my words exactly. I dawdle. And what are you prepping for? Back to the States, mostly. What, getting tired of this place? Want to move back to the good old US of A? Do you want bacon? Is that the problem? I grinned. The higher education is better there. In the 80s? Maybe. I'm not saying it isn't or isn't, because that'd be un-American of me to say that anything about America isn't number one. So let's just leave it as that. USA! USA! Michael replied calmly. His words hurt. After all, I don't have much choice. I didn't have much choice in the first place. And even if I wanted to, with grades like mine, I could only expect a minimum wage on a low qualification job. Our conversation had been falling apart since the start. Alright, you know what? I think I'll be heading out. See you at school tomorrow? See ya. He said in the same tone. I gave the bartender a parting wave and left the bar. The dramatic music left behind. What a weird jukebox to have that music. We were in a courtroom. Michael would have been the great prosecutor. Strict, cold, impartial, and operating solely with facts. That's not how a prosecutor works. Then what would my chances have been, given that I fly off the handle at the drop of a hat? Where the hell are we now? I wandered aimlessly through the city, street after street, district after district. I ended up in America for some reason. Seemed like I've never been here before. This was actually funny. Tokyo seemed much bigger than my home city, of course, but back during my childhood, everything seemed gigantic to me. Our flat, the yard, the kindergarten, the shop across the street. Multi-million metropolis. I guess I found living with a crowd of unfamiliar people constantly rushing about easy. Sometimes I walked the same direction as them, and other times I went against the flow. They paid no attention to me and treated me the same, and thank God for that. It was probably thanks to this ability of mine that I noticed someone was following me. Of course, it was frequently mere coincidence that you would head the same direction as someone else. When it was for a turn or two and across the street, everything was fine, but when you are simply wandering the street and someone is unexpectedly following your path, you understand that this is no coincidence. I accelerate and cross the street on a red light, turn into an alley and quickly head down it. Now, there are two options. Either I was being paranoid or I managed to shake them off. I pretended to watch TV in a shop's window. At least 5 minutes went by, but the mysterious guy following me never showed up. This was it. I was starting to go bonkers. I could go for a sedative or just a drink, but I wasn't just seeing things. I was certain that someone was following me. Who this was and why was a different matter. Perhaps I calmed down too early, and this was worth checking out again. Now see, I'm just dancing to the music, so right now I don't know what to do. Because Ichi knows, or whatever his name was, Ichi-san, his advice was to not get involved. That would be the do-nothing approach. To try to track down the spy might lead to something, or it might actually just be Heather. Let's track down the spy. Let's live dangerously. Unless they were ninjas, which in case they were bad ninjas because I saw them. And if there was professional following me, they wouldn't have allowed themselves to be, Ellipses stayed behind to watch soap operas. I entered the clothes shop and as quickly as possible purchased a brightly colored windbreaker and a cap to make sure no one was watching me from the street. If you wanted to hide something, you hide it in plain sight. The principle always applied in a crowd. I dove into one of the many alleyways and quickly threw on the windbreaker and cap and tucked my bag and yeah. I stepped behind a newspaper stand and pulled out a cap and peeked over her eyes while glancing around constantly. And sure enough, an oddly familiar figure soon appeared in the distance. It made sense to avoid following my every step and to go through another alley instead. I half turned, hunched my shoulders, and even crouched a bit to appear shorter. My pursuer wasn't looking around sharply. He clearly lost sight of me. But he walked past the newspaper booth without sparing me a glance for the guy in a... Oh yeah, without looking at me. I followed him. Hey! Aren't you a Pokemon trader? Anyways, he was a middle-aged man in a coat too warm for the season, dark pants, and black boots. A typical company worker judging by the looks. He stopped at a crosswalk, looked around again, and sighed loudly. I stepped a couple meters behind him. Have you... Why? See, when I picked look, I didn't mean actually confront the bastard. Just see if you're being followed, then walk away. Don't confront him. That's how you end up getting kidnapped. Finally say, what? He turned around abruptly and stared me dumbfounded. No, everything's fine. His stranger expression immediately turned to impassive and he began to preparing to leave. Why were you following me? Following you? I wasn't following anyone. He regained his composure immediately. I was going to meet with someone, but it seems like he's not going to show up. Is that someone me? Young man. He gave me a assured look and continued in a cold voice. This is the first time I've seen you. Why would you follow someone you've seen for the first time? I need to go. I need an adult! I didn't try to stop him, and it wouldn't have been a good idea. It's not a good idea to talk to him. Just let him go. Let him go. Yes, listen to Elsa. But damn it, things were turning out from bad to worse. Notes, calls, mysteries from my family's past, and now I was being followed. I should be glad I was still alive. Yeah, especially when you talk to the idiot. A nervous laughter escaped my lips. Some passing schoolgirl whispered to one another nervously. No, this had to end. I'll be calling my grandparents first thing tomorrow. Oh, your grandparents are still alive. Wild night. Is that a fun bar, as it were? Quote unquote. It was dark already. I found myself near a music club. Oh, I see. I would visit from time to time to attend concerts of local underground groups. While Tokyo's days still carried warmth of summer, evenings were becoming increasingly colder. I wrapped the jean jacket tighter. I wrapped my jean jacket tighter around myself and shivered. Home was a bit far from here, so I guess I come inside and warm up for a little bit. Hey, yeah, woo! Hey, a redhead. Sweet. The interior was full of people. Are those the bastards we beat up later? Think of it. God knows what else. The intoxicating... Yeah, whiskey's always good. Pushed myself closer to the stage. The first group was playing straightforward heavy. Japanese bands didn't try to reinvent the wheel and simply blindly copied the Western masters, with mixed results. The one playing right now, for example, was nothing special, so most of the audience was doing anything other than listening to music. The second-rate metalheads were completely aware of that fact and fell off almost entirely towards the end of their performance, simply trying not to mess it up completely. Although it wasn't like I was the one to judge, given my bass skills, I wouldn't have been able to play even as well as they did. The next band was dressed like 70s fashion, so they definitely naphthalene rock to be expected. Naphthalene. Naphthalene. Never heard that word before. As expected, I began to wander the club. Even though I came here from time to time, I never made any acquaintances. Usually, I was simply standing on my own, swilling beer. I'm not drunk. It wasn't worth holding off hope for some foreigner star, and I wasn't interested in the local bands as anything more than a way to while away yet another boring evening. Except for that nice redhead there. Actually, they're all kind of reddish. I recall bringing Catherine here once, but she didn't like it at all. And Heather outright refused to go to concerts in the first place for some reason. A young couple was canoodling in the corner. She was blowing him, as they say. I watched them for a while and suddenly felt disgusted with them. No, this wasn't right. I had to relax. I rushed to the bar and downed 3 shots of whiskey. My man! One after another. And headed back to the thick of the audience on far unsteadier legs. The old farts had already finished playing, and their scene was accompanied by some glam rockers tuning their equipment. Come on! Rock, you bastards! I shouted. A guy standing next to me glanced over what I said. We're gonna rock, all right? Don't you worry. What are you? Playing too, or what? You bet. Then why aren't you on stage? You know they're starting to tune me. I don't need any tuning. I'm always in tune, boy. He adjusted his dark glasses. Why did he need them inside? Don't you know he wears his sunglasses? That another song I'm not 100% sure was around in '87. See ya. That guy said and disappeared, disintegrated rather. He melted into the background, dressing door. The club lights dimmed and the first guitar chords emerged from the speakers. Hello, everyone. We are Z Feel Z. A familiar voice said from the microphone flooding. Ellie was standing in the middle of the stage wearing a rather strange get-up. It was a bikini, and I was aroused. Not just standing, she was singing and playing. Life didn't prepare me for this, I said aloud. Yeah, I said aloud, but thanks to the Thundermill Army. What the fuck's going on? My life is a remorseless wonder of furry tornado disaster. Words. I'm drunk. He is. I'm not. Well, I am also, but anyways. I immediately remembered what happened yesterday in the old music room. The rich kids are going completely wild. Oh, wow. Actually, that's nice. Appear from nowhere. I could understand stuttering rock chords. Listen to the music. Read along with the bouncing mouse. I'm enjoying it also. The first song still hasn't ended. Thank you, New York! Yeah, we be always together. Woo! Anyways, by the way, one of the Kickstarter rewards. By the way, this is again, if I mentioned it many times, but this being the 3rd hour of this recording, I doubt this be one video. This is a Kickstarter. One of the things you can't get is a CD of the music. Judging by the surprise and everyone somewhat embarrassed her face, yes, she did. So what? Was she really hoping that no one would find out her pupil, a genteel lady by day? I think it's repeating. Okay, because I think this is the same verse. A Tokyo glam scene? Sexy lady. I've been drinking. Hi. Anyways, I don't have to act drunk. I am. I grinned. Liking what you see. Where did you come from? You're still on stage behind me. I see your shadow. How are you? Are you a doppelganger? The word guy, the keyboardist from Z Fazil, was standing next to me again. You were just on stage. How did you materialize in front of me? Got ways together. Yeah! You have to try hard with her. I'm not really. We just go to the same school and we sort of know each other. Oh, is that so? His eyes flashed behind the glasses. and was with the dumb name Z Field. It spells Zet Fields, like the name of the anime robot, Zet Fields. Oh well, I gave him a skeptical look. It's to attract the audience, alright? Oh, he's not there anymore, so he did actually come down from the... He just left! See, that shows you something. The keyboardist isn't necessary. He pushes a button, the music plays itself. Like, Peter Frampton. No. Peter Griffin is just a big phony. A packed room, I have no problem getting audience. At this level, at least. I do like the music. Oh, he's back. Anyways, people conversation behind the incident. They played something resembling a ballad. A ballad. Ellie was casting fairy glances my way the entire time. Well, of course. Hey, we'll be always together. Anyway, specifically just a record. In any case, she had a pleasant voice and played well. You could say she had talent, but nevertheless, achieving something like that while having a responsibility of duties of the offspring of a respected family held upon her. Time isn't made of rubber. What? I had no duties and no responsibilities, and still only learned to play 2 or 3 songs with the notes in front of me. He disappeared again! He's a ghost! I suddenly felt respect towards her. Oh, okay, done. And avoided embarrassing her any longer. I moved away from the stage. I leaned against the wall so Ellie couldn't see me. Will be always. She's not playing as well as when you're not here. Her anger gives her strength. Oh, goddamn! Are you playing now? Like, right at this moment? I mean, aren't you playing? Right now, at this moment, it's a solo. So he just came down to say that. The guy was staring at me, gets on my nerves. I returned to the stage. Noticing me, Ellie missed a chord. The metallic clang came out of the speakers, filling the room. Would I be lynched by our fans or servants now, I wonder? But the girl quickly gripped herself and continued playing as if nothing happened. But once... It's the same song, but I still like it. Ellie suddenly waggled my finger at me from the stage. Now that simply was absurd. What did I do? Did she have some kind of fixation? I was demonstratively not looking at her, studying the other members of Z-Fil Z. Or Z-Vil Z. So again, European is Z rather than Z. The bassists looked normally. Too much so, even considering their style, I've been insanely more outrageous outfit. Expected. Right. Because you're gonna take the place of the bassist, aren't you? And you'll rock together. By the way, how does this then all play together with your family's secret? I'm intrigued. Unfortunately, I already knew the keyboardist. It turned out to be the last song. Always, forever. The audience demanded an encore, but the group quickly disappeared off stage. Perhaps they simply didn't have enough material. And what was I going to do next? On one hand, I wanted to talk to Ellie and tell her that I liked her music. On the other hand, wouldn't it sound like a stock compliment? On top of that, she clearly wasn't happy to see me at her concert. Hey, how did guitar get up there? Anyways, while I was pondering, the public was already starting to dissolve, and Z never reappeared from the dressing room. They must have left through the back door, most likely. Oh well, I don't have much to say to her anyways. Although I was grateful to Ellie, her music allowed me to distract myself from the problems I've been having lately. The club practically emptied, and I was left standing in the middle of the dance floor in some kind of stupor, immersed in my own thoughts. Usually, I would have left before the end of the concert in high spirits, not wanting for the bitter aftertaste of an ended merriment. Ellipses was yelling free bird. Either it got warmer outside, or the alcohol warmed me up. As I reached home far too quickly. Yet another note from Heather was waiting for me under the door. She could have easily opened the door with her own key because I didn't lock it from the inside, made dinner for me and waited, just like yesterday. However, the note made it clear that I shouldn't be counting on anything of the sort. What does she think? I was simply having fun here? The note, the mysteries, and the man following me. Just because I couldn't tell her everything didn't mean I didn't want to. Well, yeah, I've been to a concert, but what's wrong with that? People need to get some cultural recreation once in a while. Heather did nothing wrong, of course. I just tired of her constant nagging. Sorry. Recently, being with her was making me feel like I was trapped inside a cage of emotion. Children grow up and become independent. Heather was the one who replaced my deceased parents, so in the end, hardly anything has changed in my life. But to be taking all of this for granted, was I really being ungrateful to her? Judging by this note, she wasn't just upset, but also very hurt. Maybe I should call her. No details necessary, I just wanted to say I'm alright. Sure, and give her a reason to continue to behaving like that, but now with my silent consent. Yeah, call. Of course, I could go to her place, but it was already late. I reeked of alcohol, and a call would be enough in the situation. I dialed a number. I've known it since childhood. Her voice sounded on the receiver almost immediately. Nico-kun? I expected something like that. Hi, yes. Sorry for disappearing today. There was silence on the other end. You wouldn't believe it if I said I had things to do, would you? Is it true? I sighed heavily. It just hurts me that you're hiding something from me. Even if I am, there are reasons for this. But I'm not hiding anything from you anyways. Haha. It seemed like a dumb laugh would dispel the tension. If anything happens, you know I'm always near. Alright. See you tomorrow at school. Good night. Good night. I set down the receiver and fell into thought. Maybe I really should tell her everything. I doubted Heather would be able to help, of course, but at least this way I would be able to leave alone with my problems. Ellipses tried to finish the sentence for me, but I wouldn't let him. The alcohol I drank was making me feel tremendously drowsy. Tell me about it. I barely reached the bed before falling onto it and drifting off into sleep while still in midair. There we go. So, support us on Kickstarter and our website. Oops. Dang it. All right, hold on. So that went to the website. Again, all here. Let's actually go to the website. So yeah, here's the Kickstarter to kind of date this video. So they have 19 days to go, and they're 1/3 of the way there. So, but yeah, you can try the demo for yourself. See what happens when you chase after Catherine, or what happens if you don't hide with Ellie in a closet and have her boobles all up in your chest. So, anyways, yeah, I'll back this for sure. Anyways, so all that aside, there's a quote-unquote quick 3 hours and 30-minute demo. Again, there's a lot of game there just for a demo. Try it yourself. See what happens if you aren't a drunken asshole like me. See if you make better decisions. So, all that aside, let me end the video here. Say thanks again for watching, and see you next time. We'll be together forever. Always, always, forever. Yeah.